Hey everybody. I can't seem to get the recordings to show up. Collaborate, they took 24 hours to show up, so maybe that'll work. But just in case, I'm going to record this and then share the link with y'all. All right, so today in the little mini session, we did a review for the SLO and we talked about what was going to be on it. So it's going to be chapters 11, 12, and 6. For chapter 11, personality, it's all going to be about Freud. It's going to be you have to be able to recognize the difference between the id, the ego, and the superego. They'll ask you a question, like give you a scenario, and they say, what's in charge, the id, the ego, or the superego? And then they'll do something similar with the psychosexual stages of development. They'll give you a scenario and say, according to Freud, what stage would this person be stuck in? Then they're going to ask you one about defense mechanisms. And again, going to give you a scenario and going to ask you which defense mechanism it is. So those are pretty straightforward. And then they're going to ask you on the social psychology about Milgram, where you'll have to recognize an example of how the authority figure is using their authority or causing someone else to commit an act of harm onto someone else. Remember, with Milgram, it's about authority and harm. It'll ask you about the bystander effect. It'll ask you about Asch conformity. Remember, that's very similar to peer pressure. You're doing something you wouldn't necessarily want to do, but because everyone else is doing it, you do it. And then the Stanford Prison Experiment and how that's about roles. The power of the role to change someone's behavior. Now, the one where most people get things wrong is classical conditioning. Take out that sheet I gave y'all on the day of classical conditioning. If you weren't here for that day, you can email me and I will give you a sheet where it's about a stimulus causing a response, what kind of stimulus it is, what kind of response is it. Look at that. When the example is about food poisoning and but at some point, the question talks about poisoning. Well, it means food poisoning. So kind of put that in your head. And then it'll also ask you about operant conditioning. And operant conditioning, first look at it and say, what's the goal? To increase the behavior or decrease the behavior? If the goal is to increase the behavior, you want to, that's reinforcement. If the goal is to decrease the behavior, that's punishment. So again, I'm just because my brain's tired today. If the goal is to increase, you use reinforcement. If the goal is to decrease, you use punishment. And then you're going to look at it and am I giving the person something or taking away something? If I'm giving them something, that's positive reinforcement, like I give you a sticker. If I take away something, that's negative reinforcement. I'm taking away something that unpleasant, something you don't like. Now with punishment, this is where it gets tricky with positive punishment. It's not positive to hit somebody, but it is positive punishment to hit somebody or to scream at them. I'm giving them a negative consequence to decrease their behavior. And on the flip side, negative, I'm taking away something that they want to decrease the behavior. If you have any more specific questions, it is open notes, it is open resources. If you have any more specific questions, feel free to email me. You can call me because my office phone actually comes to my cell phone. Or you can text me because y'all all have my number now. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. It is now open. It will close on Tuesday. Thank you. Bye. And again, I'm so sorry for all the technical trouble.